Welcome back. In today's video, we're going to be exploring the internet computer price movements, price trajectory, and what is going on with the internet computer price continually going down. Is ICP making me poor? And just as a kind of a joke, this was from a tweet saying, ICP holder, what does it say? ICP holders since Genesis waiting for a trend reversal. Basically saying that since Internet Computer launched, it's been in a downward trend, in a downward trajectory. In today's video, we're going to be exploring why the Internet Computer is exiting the top 50. Why, with all of the AI narrative and AI ecosystem plays that Internet Computer is really targeting and going after, why we've been seeing a continual downtrend in the price. Is this just end of cycle in the end of 2025 for the overall crypto market, or is this something bigger going on where the market is sniffing out BS and saying that AI is not necessarily a money maker for the ecosystem? We're going to go over that and more. Make sure you guys are subscribed to this channel. We upload every single day to bring you the latest happening in the financial world. So hit that subscribe button. Also, give the video a free thumbs up because you guys know crypto is not free, but thumbs up are always free. Let's get into it. Now, as you guys know, I've been following the Internet Computer since the launch, right? And we've talked about back in 2021, the major drop and decline in the price of the coin from about $700 down to $3. And now we basically round tripped yet again, and we are basically in this $4 price point. But this is after the beta and the alpha release of Caffeine AI, which is basically promised as the premier AI capability and large language model that can not only code to the Internet Computer, but then deploy coded programs, dApps, and websites to be hosted and run on the Internet Computer network. Well, since the alpha and beta launch in the price, we've seen downward moves in after both. And in the middle of October 2025, there's going to be the public release of Caffeine AI to the general public. And, there's a lot of people anticipating that we're going to see prices going higher. But is this actually what is going on? Well, in today's video, we're going to be exploring some of the data and some of the sentiment in the ecosystem to understand, is ICP making us poor, or is it going to make us extremely rich? Hopefully it's the second, but let's get right into it. Fabio posted this saying yesterday, we recorded the highest ICP transfer volume in the last 6 months. Is this panic capitulation? 1.8 million ICP was removed from exchanges from the beginning of September, but the number of meaningful wallets dropped. Now, here's he said, P.S. time is ticking. The next 3 to 6 months will be decisive for the project. Obviously, he's referring to the launch of Caffeine AI. And I would completely agree with what he's saying here. Number one, Caffeine AI's launch is, it's really the only major thing that ICP has going for it in terms of like partnerships, usage, deployment of major capabilities and technology. Everything's been leading up to this over the last year and a half. And while the technology is, revolutionary and groundbreaking, there's a lot of people that are kind of worried about whether this is the killer app for ICP, and that fact that ICP has been focusing essentially just on Caffeine AI over the last year or so. There's this one tweet here. This is the one that I wanted to show you next. This is from the ICP Insider on X with about 16,000 followers. He said, Dominic is betting on Caffeine AI to change the trajectory of ICP. The question is, will this pay off? AI-powered self-writing applications could transform how software is built. But beyond creation lies the business challenge. How many of these applications can achieve real adoption and go mainstream? While I'm optimistic, he says, about Caffeine AI, the foundation, Dfinity, must avoid concentrating all its efforts in one direction. A balanced strategy that also strengthens ICP's DeFi ecosystem is essential. He said currently ICP is excluded from many of the major conversations shaping the industry, both crypto and AI, in my view. This silence is not in the project's best interest, and if it persists, the risk of ICP fading into irrelevance becomes real. Whoa. But I would agree, guys. At the end of the day, right? Any company that's focused on one thing and solely focused on that one thing without any plans or pathway to growth and expansion and usage. And it's like putting all your eggs in one basket, putting all of your crypto in one coin, and putting all of your investments in one investment. Now, this could work out, right? It definitely could. And some people make they make millions off of just making one bet, whether it's a long or a short or in one company or one technology. People made a lot of money on Bitcoin. People are now chasing those same returns that early investors made, but you're never going to get those returns because early investors were there when nobody else was. Now everybody has joined the party. And when we're talking about AI, there's so much competition in the AI space. And what Fabio highlighted here about the transfer volume reaching highs at the end of September, a lot of people are saying, well, Cryptoviser, this is so bullish. This is bullish to see the whale wallets are increasing. But the bottom line is it's not, because if you look at the data individually, you're missing the whole picture. And we like to look at the whole picture when we're analyzing any investment or any data on these projects, which is what we do on this channel. So make sure, by the way, you are subscribed to this channel. That way you never miss a new video, and also give the video a free thumbs up. You can also leave a super thanks or super chat down below in the comments if you want to help support the channel. And again, these are just my opinions. You could disagree with it, that's fine. But this is my analysis on where the market is. And if it's my analysis, I'm sure there's a lot of other people that are thinking kind of along the same lines as we're discussing and showing you the tweets, right? It's not just me saying this. But here's the deal. When you see this kind of transfer volume and the price continuing to drop and the whale wallets continuing to increase and the number of wallets holding ICP decreasing and the crypto on exchanges decreasing, all of these individually may look bullish, but when they're combined, it's actually really bearish. Because number one, transfer volume means people are transferring coins. Then if you also see whale wallets continuing to increase in value, that means whales are accumulating or they're absorbing. What are they absorbing? They're absorbing what's being thrown into the market, what's being sold in the market, right? How do we know this? Well, number one, the price of ICP continues to decline. Number two, the whale wallets are increasing as crypto on exchanges is decreasing. Why is crypto historically on exchanges? To sell. So the whales absorb that. They pull it off the exchange after they buy it. And when I'm talking about whales, they could be anybody. It could be insiders. It could be the market maker. I don't know who it is, right? But it's whales. And the number of, what does he say? The number of wallets dropped, right? And so while people holding ICP is dropping, while whale wallets are increasing, while ICP on exchanges is decreasing, the price is decreasing, and the transfer volume is increasing, to me, that says that there's massive selling going on. And so ICP Insider also posted this chart showing supply held by whales, which is the purple line. You could see it pretty much going straight up at the end of September. And this is the ICP supply held by humpback whales, which is over 100,000 ICP. That's slightly decreasing, right? I don't know, that could be them selling and then these other whales absorbing. But ICP Insider said mostly those selling ICP are retail investors. ICP presents opportunities for retail investors to build wealth, but many are selling out of fear instead of accumulating, while the wealthy are buying it up. This pattern explains why the average people struggle to become rich. They act out of fear when they should be bold. Well, that's his opinion, but in my view, they're selling because the promises of caffeine AI, of all this new technology, it's not panning out the way that we thought it was going to. Right or wrong, long term is going to be correct or not, I don't know. But that's what's happening. We really have to think about where we are in the cycle when I'm recording this video, right? The end of 2025. The end of 2025, generally speaking, is the end of the bull cycle for crypto, right? It's about 18 months after the Bitcoin halving, which is historically when the top of the market is hit. The global economy is kind of shaky. There's a lot of conflict going on around the world, which is also not great. The AI narrative still has steam, but there's a lot of questions about whether people are like you can actually make money with AI compared to the costs. And so there's still a lot of up in the air unknowns about what is going on. And I just think that all the eggs are in this caffeine AI basket is very, very risky for internet computer. And by the way, this is not the only project. There's a lot of projects that investors were hoping, oh, they're going to do this, they're going to do this, they're going to do this, they're going to do, and nothing happened, right? Think about Ethereum. I mean, what really has been upgraded on Ethereum over the past year? Almost nothing. Everybody just thought, oh, well, Wall Street is here. They're going to be buying in the ETF, so we don't have to do anything. The price is going to go up. The price of Ethereum didn't really go up. I mean, we did hit new all-time highs, but barely, barely. And so everybody was just kind of expecting that the price was going to go up because Wall Street's here, because it's, it's going to get regulatorily approved and all of this. And that's just not the case, right? Those are pumpamentals, not fundamentals. And we're now at the end stages of the bull run. And the same thing happened in 2021. I was following Cardano very closely. They were promising us, oh, Goguen is going to be here, smart contracts. Smart contracts launched, and or the capability of, I should say, of smart contracts launched, and that was it. Nothing was launched, and I was questioning my investment and my thesis, saying, "Wait, we waited years for Cardano to launch smart contract capabilities, and now it's launched, or it's enabled on the network, and there's no smart contracts being used. What is going on? Nobody was building anything." Like I thought that there was going to be back-end building, and that way when they launch the smart contract capability, you're going to have all these projects and different protocols launching on Cardano, and none of that actually took place. And when I posted a video about it, 1 week later, 3 DEXs launched. And I was like, so they were waiting for a YouTuber to question why 3 months after smart contract capabilities were enabled, nothing was launched on Cardano. They were waiting for a YouTuber to say something before they launched it. And I was like, yeah, this is number 1, end of cycle, and number 2, end of my investment in Cardano, and I sold because it was bullshit. And a lot of projects do this. And it may not really even be the project's fault. It's the retail ecosystem pumping these ecosystems and saying, oh, they're going to do this, they're going to do, even though they never necessarily said they were going to do that, And so with Internet Computer Protocol, if the focus is solely on caffeine AI, it's all your eggs in one basket. And if caffeine AI doesn't work out, the rest of the ecosystem fails because everybody was just anticipating and hoping for this one big thing. And part of that is on the holders, because the holders probably should do a little bit more to build on their own, right? If you want the value in the ecosystem to increase, you need to be part of that, right? But on this channel, we're more about kind of taking a step back and just looking for investment opportunities, which I think a lot of people in crypto generally do. And that's probably one of the big issues with why crypto, generally speaking, in 2025 just didn't perform. A lot of the altcoins didn't perform the way that a lot of people thought they were going to perform, because you were just hoping that somebody else would build the products and that other people would come and use the products. That's not how it works, right? Like everybody has to be part of the building, and everybody has to be part of the usage of it to kind of make it work. Otherwise, nobody uses it. And so that's kind of where we are with Internet Computer. The fact that they're solely focused on caffeine AI. The entire ecosystem is solely focused on caffeine AI, which doesn't even run on the Internet Computer Protocol itself. And the on-chain data is showing us that people are selling. Why are they selling? It's not retail capitulating in the way that ICP Insider is saying the average person is struggling to become rich. I mean, you can't become rich if the price keeps going down. And this one user, King ICP, posted his unrealized P&L. Now, didn't post their whole portfolio, so I don't know if this is just ICP, but I mean, it kind of looks like it. $142,000 in the hole. In the hole. And I mean, literally anybody who invested in ICP at any point over the last 1 year is in the red at this point. And that's not a good place to be. Now, people are going to say, but Cryptoviser, it's the bottom. We don't know that. There is no floor. There is no line that it's like, this is the bottom. It can't go lower than this. I mean, maybe zero, but I don't think that it's going to go to zero. Hopefully it doesn't. But we really have to think about this, right? King ICP said, I made another 8 years of neurons with my hard wallet today. I have 3 accounts, a total of 150,000 ICP have fallen asleep in 8 years. The neuron address is hidden, but you can figure it out. So he has 150,000 ICP that he's been accumulating, and it's locked in for 8 years, right? He can't even access these coins for 8 years. And what I would say is one of the metrics that we do look at on the internet computer is the staking, right? And how many long-term stakers there are, because the long-term staking has increased significantly over the past couple of years. But these holders, these stakers of the ecosystem, these long-term stakers that have their coins locked in, they need to participate. They need to be part of the building. Because if not, the money and the value of the network is not just going to magically appear. And so the people who are staking for this long of a period of time, they need to really kick it in gear. And number 1, be more vocal. And 2, vote on proposals. And number 3, potentially become part of the building ecosystem, whether they're building companies or whether they're building products, whether they're using caffeine AI or just coding on their own. But they need to be a part of this solution and part of the value add to the ecosystem, because the coin is not just going to go up on its own. And Dfinity should not, and I don't think can be, the only entity pushing the future of ICP. It's the same thing with Cardano. When everybody's expecting Cardano Foundation and IO Global and Emergo to do everything, and they've proven time and time again that they won't do it, or that they're not going to do anything for your bag. They're going to do things for their bag, right? That is an issue. But who else is building? If Emergo and Cardano Foundation and IO Global are the only ones building, they're going to do what they want to do. And they don't care what your opinion is, because you're not building. But the people who are building, and there is a lot of builders within the ICP ecosystem, the Cardano ecosystem, the Ethereum ecosystem, the Solana ecosystem, but they need even more. And not just that, they need more types of products, right? They need DeFi. And we've talked about DeFi before. We've talked about the cross-chain interoperability protocols. And, while one of the Bitcoin DeFi ecosystems called Odin Fund was recently hacked for the 5th time or something like that. A lot of people on my videos are like, but Cryptoviser, it's not even built on internet computer. It's built on Bitcoin, and they just use the internet computer. And I'm like, guys, you're completely missing the point. Them getting hacked is not that big of a deal. If there's somebody building, I would rather them build and make mistakes along the way than not be building at all. And that's one of the issues. A lot of these ecosystems, not just specific to internet computer, but a lot of ecosystems, they don't build because they're worried about a hack, or they're worried about a bridge getting, a smart contract getting, exploited or whatever. And meanwhile, the ecosystems with the most exploits also have the most usage and adoption, aka Ethereum, because they're actually building something. And the more you build, the more issues you're going to have, the more mistakes you're going to have. And then you go and correct those, and you keep building. But if an ecosystem is just expecting Dominic and Dfinity to build out the internet computer ecosystem, and Caffeine AI is going to be the killer app, it's going to be the one thing that's going to change everything, and that's where all the focus is. Well, to an outside investor, that's not investable, right? It's not investable. That's why we see Bitcoin mining operations pivoting to AI and HPC. Because if they're solely focused on Bitcoin mining, what happens in bear markets? Well, in 2021 into 2023, we had multiple Bitcoin mining companies collapsing, going bankrupt, needing outside funding to survive. And that's not going to stop in the next bear market unless they pivot to other business lines. And it's the same thing when you're investing in your portfolio. If you're putting all your eggs in internet computer, all your eggs in Bitcoin, all your eggs in MicroStrategy, you have no room for error. No room. Because once you're down, you're down. And then if you're down 50%, do you want to sell then and then go into another asset and potentially not make any more money? A lot of people are not going to do that. A lot of people are going to say, you know what, I'm just going to hold because we'll go back up. But going back up from a 50% decline means a double, a 100% increase from there, which is much harder than a 50% decrease. And so is ICP making us all poor? I mean, based on the data over the last year, yes. The answer is yes, right? But I do think that there's great technology here and a great network. But there needs to be building on it. And right now, all the eggs are just in Caffeine AI basket. And that could work out, and I hope it does. But what if it doesn't? What if other vibe coding apps get more investment and more usage than Caffeine AI? What if people don't want to just use Internet Computer just for Caffeine AI and building dApps, right? There's only one focus. And having one focus is like having one investment in your portfolio, 100% in one risky investment that's not proven, that's not tested, and has no adoption or MOU sign like, oh, we're going to definitely use the technology. That's a problem. And by the way, it's not just me saying this, right? Even the ICP insider said right here, will this bet pay off? We're solely focused on this one thing. Fabio's saying the same thing. And so at least that's what it seems like, right? But time is ticking. The end of the cycle is here for crypto, generally speaking. And Caffeine AI is about to get the third launch. This is the public launch of access to this product. And so if it launches and the usage is not where it needs to be, and the adoption, there's no institutional adoption, will it be a success for the entire ecosystem? And if the answer is no, what does ICP have to fall back on? That is a question that I don't know the answer to. And as an investor and as an analyst, it's very frustrating because we are at the end stages of the cycle. So to Fabio's point, time is ticking, time is running out. And I hope that it works, but there is a possibility, and that possibility is increasing based on the data that we've covered of that not working out. And that means that the price could go down much, much lower. That doesn't mean the project failed, right? Because the project can continue to go on regardless of where the price is. But if there's no incentive for people to invest in the ecosystem, invest in the coin, invest in the technology, that could be a huge, huge problem. Now, I'm going to be doing a separate video where we're actually going to be exploring some programs that have actually already been tested on Caffeine AI because, by the way, they've clearly listened. This is an ad that was posted the end of September on a billboard, and there's multiple. So this is, like, from what I see, legit, not AI generated. But when they first launched Caffeine AI, they were just saying caffeine. And I'm like, this is the worst marketing I've ever seen in my life because caffeine to me means coffee, which I'm about to drink right now. Iced coffee, very cold, a little watered down right now because I've been talking more than I've been drinking the coffee. But what are you guys drinking? But one of the things that I said was, like, how are they promoting this as just caffeine? It should be Caffeine AI on all of the marketing material so people know exactly what they're talking about. But they are doing marketing for this. And we're going to be going in this other video. I don't know what it's going to be called. It's going to be called something like ICP launches these games or apps or something like that. You'll see it on my channel if you're subscribed. So make sure you guys are subscribed. Click that subscribe button right down below. You can also become a channel member by clicking the join button or subscribe plus button down below here on YouTube. But we're going to be going through some of them because as I've been looking at the programs that have been launching that have been effectively coded by AI, I mean, these are very advanced and these are very cool. And I'm sure a lot of AI companies are watching the Internet Computer to see what they're capable of. But there's a possibility it's just not going to be the cycle because the price keeps dropping. And every day I wake up and I see the price lower, I'm like, crying even more. Let me know what you guys think about today's video, about all the data that we discussed, the whale wallets, the accumulation from the whale wallets, retail investors capitulating and getting out of the coin, and more importantly, Dfinity's sole focus of Caffeine AI. Is this putting all their eggs in one basket, or do you think that it's worth it because this technology is what it is? Let me know down below. Give the video a thumbs up, and I'll see you on the next video, Crypto On.